Welcome to Artists in Residences, the Westport Library's virtual artist series. I'm Carol Ergerfass, exhibit curator at the library. Today, we join Miggs Burroughs at the studio of fiber artist Tina Puckett. Tina's a self-taught artist who's been weaving since the early 80s. Her baskets, bowls, wall hangings, and furniture blur the line between arts and crafts. To her, weaving is a lot like painting, and she uses colors and textures much like a painter would to depict flowers, landscape, and abstract designs. Tina uses natural materials like bittersweet that grows wild in Connecticut, and she mixes and dyes all of her own reeds and fibers, making sculptural art forms that are dynamic and colorful. And although she works out of an enormous workshop and showroom in Winsted, Connecticut, Tina grew up here in Westport and is a member of the Westport Artists Collective. She had a wonderful piece in the community show over the summer at the library, which is how I was introduced to her work. Now, let's join Tina and Miggs in Whiting Mills and get a look into this fabulous space.
Well, thanks very much, Carol, and to the Westport Library. We are in the studio of the very accomplished, she'll have to tell us what to call her, Tina Puckett, who is known for her, I guess, weavings. Is that the correct word, what you do? What kind of artist would you, when people ask you, what kind of artist are you? What do you say?
Fiber artist.
Fiber, okay.
Yeah.
I mean, with that name, you could be a country and Western singer too.
Yeah, fiber artist. Vast, from paper to leather to pottery.
And how did you, did you have art training as a young kid?
Yes and no. I went to college to be a set designer for the stage. And I studied under Lester Polikoff, and he taught me so much about how the eye perceives things like it's on stage, how to paint scene paintings, how to do drafting for construction. So it all appeared in my baskets when I first started. And it's all there. You know, I mix my own dyes, so I create colors. I take the bittersweet and create a form. Sometimes I have to cut it and screw them and create a shape. But the bittersweet itself always dictates what form the sculpture, the wall hanger, the basket is going to be. And I use several tools to go in the woods. I just harvested some because I've got a commission to make a sunflower. So there's a very specific thickness I need, curves or no curves. And I use chainsaws, a pull saw with a chainsaw on top, clippers, and then I bring them into the studio. This time of the year is the best year to pick it because there's less leaves on it and easier to find. The temperature's nice. So here's a perfect example. I found one. For me, it's easier to use it when it's green, and I'll show you how pliable it is.
Oh my God, yeah, look at that. It doesn't snap, wow, look at that.
No, and so it just goes around. And I take its natural curves and I try to bring it around to it. So I catch the curve that it already naturally grew. See how I just caught it there?
Yeah. Yeah, I know, right. So yeah, it looks very, so, and where do you find, I studied scene design too, coincidentally, and I don't remember using chainsaws or clippers or anything.
No, that came later. Well, kind of, we use saws to build the set.
That's true. And there is the thing of, well, those years aren't really an illusion. I mean, yes, scene painting, we learned to make a wall look like it was made out of marble or wood or whatever, all the different textures.
But that really taught me, if you look at my work, it's very dimensional, many layers. And the way I see it is my audience is sitting on the couch looking up at their fireplace with my piece of work over it. So that's the stage, and the couch is their audience. That's how I always look at my work, how they, perceive it.
Yeah. No, that's a very unique way of looking at your own work, or how you present your work. It's almost like, yeah, it's almost performance art in a weird way. And where do you find bittersweet? Is that something in everyone's backyard somewhere? I mean, we just need to look for it.
Somewhat. It was brought over from the Asian world. I call it the New England kudzu, if you're familiar with kudzu. They did it to, hold back dirt. But it just goes wild, and it's actually very evasive. It chokes trees along its way. So that's why it does the circles.
Oh,
You're familiar with it more. They make Christmas trees with the yellow and red berries.
mhm.
That's a baby. So, okay, next thing I wanted to tell you about was the reeds that I weave with. Okay. It grows just like bamboo.
Hmm.
Okay, it looks like bamboo. It's in the bamboo family, but it's solid on the inside.
And
And they
bamboo would
cut
be,
it like lumber. So they cut the skin is actually what you cane chairs with, the caning of chairs. And I weave with the inside. So I'll show you. They actually mathematically figure out how much they can get.
and hold up a little higher. Hold it a
Can
little
you
higher.
can you see the drawing? It's a square.
Oh yeah, okay, now I can see it.
Okay,
Yep. Yeah,
so on this edges here is what they cut the flat oval,
great. Mhm.
and inside they cut the round reeds. And there's at least 12 different sizes of round reeds and flats, and they know what thickness, what they can get out of it. And it comes in from the Philippines. Is the best reeds there is, but there is also China and in the Asian world.
And how are they used? So that core that do you
Yeah.
stick those into reeds?
This is how turns out to be the reeds.
Oh, okay.
So they cut it like lumber.
Yeah. Nice.
Reed.
And they're pliable too, or do you have to soak them?
They
or
are
rinse them?
pliable. I wanted to show you. So when it's dry, it's pliable enough to do this, okay? But it's not pliable enough to weave. It will definitely break when it weaves. So I soak it in water for about an hour before I'm able to weave with it.
And so, well, the transition was sort of like, so from scene design to that, what was your introduction into fibers? I mean, besides, I know in scene design, I guess we used all sorts of materials to make things look, fake things look real. But
Yeah.
what was your introduction to fibers? You remember?
Now, it doesn't have anything to do with the set designs. It actually has to do with my mother.
No.
It was in 1982. There was an adult education class at the Foreman School in Litchfield, 2 Saturday mornings. And she thought that I would enjoy basket weaving. And so I took the class. And the second Saturday, I had a little egg basket, traditional basket. That was in the fall. I decided to buy some materials and make gifts, and I made gifts, and then some people wanted to buy it. And then I took it to a store, a gift-handed store outside of Boston. They bought and ordered, and that's how the business started over 40 years ago. But I got bored very quickly making the same thing over and over again. I would say within 6 months, I was already exploring how to change it up. And I started actually with grapevine, which is, people still love my grapevine best. Grapevine.
Grapevine, okay.
And, but I have pictures of some that I was trying to push out to do what the bittersweet does. And then once I found the bittersweet, I have a connection with it. It tells me what it wants to be, and a form, a sculpture, a basket, and and it comes easily to create it, you know, once I get the vision from it.
Oh,
Yeah.
so you don't really come with an idea like, oh, wake up this morning. Oh, I think I'll make a basket that's, you know, dyed purple or something. I mean, the materials kind of guide you.
Yes and no. Like when I create this form, it's fresh, it's new. I know it wanted to be a basket when I touched it. So then I created the shape that it would be a basket. And this is a bunch of them are formed that I have formed. It's also about business. I sell probably 50-50, my artwork and the baskets. So I have to look around in my stock and decide. And I also only work on one piece at a time. I'm not one of those, my work I can just do one piece. The only time that I put it aside is if I get a commission. Then I put it aside and then I come back to it. And I learned that a long time ago because all of a sudden I had a bunch not finished, you know,
Right.
and I said, I can't do that.
Okay, so Tina, we're in your workshop, your studio. Is this a piece you're working on, or what are we looking at?
Now we worked over to my work table. This is a commission piece. There's a 5 foot by 2 foot one I've made. They really wanted a smaller one. So I went in the woods and tried to find curves that matched kind of nicely. And it's actually called Hoop Dancer. I don't know if you can see.
Yeah, maybe Bobby, I don't know if either you can get closer to Bobby or Bobby zoom in, get really close up so we can actually see the fibers. Yeah, like that, even as close as you can get, and just to get, yeah. And then hold it steady. Yeah, get a sense of all the intricacy. Yeah, that's nice. Yeah, look at that. So how many different materials? There's all the zigzaggy, what are those? And then there's the pink or red. What are the different materials?
So they're all reeds,
Mhm.
but they come in different widths, like I said, thicknesses.
Mm-hmm.
They're all dyed differently. So I wove the background like a canvas, and then I used the thinner reeds, the dyed pieces, into the piece that I'm doing, and add the layers and the colors. But I compare it to a painter, like this is equal to a stroke of paint canvas. So when I place it, it's like a puzzle, and it's a visual where I want certain colors so it looks like what I envisioned it. And so each piece gets put in, and I never know when I'm done until it tells me I'm done.
Yes. Yeah, I've heard that. I'm still waiting for some of my artwork to tell me it's done or I'm done. No, that's great. And the piece behind you that's on the brick wall there, that's,
This one,
yeah, where is that?
that is one that I've made a few
Hmm.
years. It kind of reminds me of like a Santa Fe colors,
Mm-hmm.
you know. So that is several layers of the different reeds, which is a technique I've created, and I call it dimensional weave. And then it's in between the bittersweet, which is my work, is the reeds and the bittersweet entangling each other. And that's what came out of it. The other one that I really like is similar to that, is this one over here. And this is actually a tiki bar, but it has the woodwork here. And sometimes they come with a vision. And this reminds me of like the bottom of the ocean, the seaweeds moving.
Yeah, to me, it actually, and for my, oh, it's so beautiful. It looks like a forest floor almost. Like that's something, if you're really deep in the woods, you might be walking over.
And roots. Yeah.
Roots
do.
and vines.
So there's something else I want to show you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so I've been weaving for over 40 years.
Mm.
Everything done is with bittersweet and reeds. And I really wanted to challenge myself and see if I could create something without bittersweet.
Oh,
And I'm in an area here with other artists, like 45 artists. And I asked them if they would come in and critique as I went along. I wanted to how they create and what they create. And I wanted to see if I could create something without bittersweet. And it took me a very long time to say that. It took a very long time. But it was very interesting because each artist came in, like Gay Champ, and critiqued it. And it gave me ideas. It gave me an eye to look at it differently. And it caused something else to come up in it. And this is what it came out to be. And this was first looked at like galaxies, stars flying.
mm-hmm.
And then somebody came in here, this is over 2 years old now, came in and said, oh, that looks like 4th of July fireworks. And I'm like,
Okay.
and then somebody came in and said, oh, it looks like COVID. And I went, oh,
Oh my God. Oh, that's
So
it is. But that was before COVID.
yes, this was maybe COVID.
Yeah, because that's interesting. It's got all it's very because it's got all those spiky little things. But what materials, like you opened it up to? I mean, your friends don't know what materials are bendable and you know.
No, I asked them about like colors. I asked, mentioned, because I'm always categorized under craft.
Mhm.
And so I wanted to see what can I create that wouldn't be called craft, you know?
Well, you're definitely have elevated that medium to art. I mean, there's no question, you know, I mean, if it was just a little basket to hold flowers, maybe that would be craft, but you know, yours go way beyond the galaxies beyond that.
But because of the bittersweet, I've been
Mhm.
told keeps it held into craft.
Yeah, that's an
That's what, you know, that's what I got the critique from in here.
okay. Well,
Oh yeah, that was kind of fun and interesting. And it opened doors for me. I have other ideas now to the future coming.
I still can't get over that. Really is so bizarre about the COVID to look, because you had no idea when you were doing this what the little COVID virus looked like, and that's exactly what it looks like. It's crazy, but it's also beautiful. So,
Thank you.
it's just anything that you want to walk around a little bit and just see what else you've got, where your workspace is like, or your living space.
So I am very grateful. I have a wonderful space up here in Winston at Whiting Mills. This was the original gallery room for Whiting Mills, and then they decided not to have a gallery for shows for everybody's piece. And it gave me the opportunity to have a beautiful gallery and workspace centrally located in the building. So here's another interesting piece. So I'm a member of the SDA, and they had a competition, Fuller Museum right outside of Boston, if I remember correctly. The curator had a competition. He wanted us to put words into our work. I don't put words into my work, you know. Oh my God, what am I going to do? I really wanted to be in the show. And to me, sometimes things come in dreams also.
Oh, okay.
And I woke up and I had this dream. It was like, what? So the dream was two snakes intertwining each other.
Mm-hmm.
The good snake and one was the bad snake. So the piece ended up being called Colorful Life. Now, if you look at it very closely, this is my dimensional weave again, and I've never done animals or anything else. So that was another challenge. but this one is the bad snake. This one says war, CWAR.
Get in there. Oh, yes. Okay. Yeah. This close
And
up
then
is great.
it has words all like hell is next after it.
Oh,
You
but
know,
they're kind of camouflaged in there. Yeah.
yeah, and it comes all the way around. So there's one bad snake, and then there's the other good snake comes around with all the peace, love.
Wow, that's
Well,
fascinating. And it's also got, I don't know what the medical theme emerges, but it's like
yes,
the caduceus, right? Or the
yes.
medical thing of the
But the snakes are opposite in this one.
yeah, right. They're not
So, and
cooperating.
it's very thick. Very
And that
diverse.
and so those are all dyed. You have to, how do you, would you do it as you go? Like, oh, I need more pink, I need more blue, I'll have to make some more, or do you do it all in advance and just dye 100 yards of blue reeds and 100 yards of pink reeds, or
Okay. I'll come back to you. 1 second.
Okay, keep going.
I did want to show you before when I was like, oh, this is the thickest bittersweet.
Oh, and that's still bendable. That's
No.
Oh, it's not.
But I make furniture with that.
Oh, you
Um,
can make,
I make headboards, coffee tables. So this one's another one that I, was thinking outside the box.
yeah.
I like
Great.
to intertwine, like the bittersweet and me woven into each other.
Mm-hmm.
I enjoy that.
There's there's sort of the yin yang thing going on. Are you influenced by Eastern culture at all? It seems, there's the same with the snakes. I mean, there's the give and take and the push and the pull and all that. Yeah, maybe. Okay.
I've always liked Japanese art and Chinese art, as a child. So this here is something I've been very well known for is the flowers. There are many collections. I do quite large ones, 5 feet by 5 flowers, all kinds of different flowers.
And people, so when you get commissions, do people I know some artists that can be difficult because the person says, I want, and they really don't have a sense of composition and it may not be what's going to look best. I mean, do you have to kind of guide your people? They say, oh, I want 6 purple flowers and I want this and that. And then do you just do whatever they want is fine with you, or is it a collaboration?
It has to be a collaboration of all 3 of us.
Mm-hmm.
The bittersweet, me and them.
Oh, yeah.
Because I have to find, I don't know if you can see the table. Can you see the coffee?
Yeah, nice.
So here, this coffee table was a challenge. Bittersweet, look at the legs, how curved they are. And in my head was like, can I make a table with very curved legs? Because they're really straight.
Yeah, and you have to get that level. Is that, now there's several other different pieces involved? It's, you have to piece together things, right?
Is involved.
Yeah.
I wanted to minimize the amount too, and to give it strength, if the beauty of it.
Yeah.
Less.
It's pretty amazing. Yeah. Be able to, and, look through it and this natural form against the clean glass. It's great.
Thank you. So a few years back, I also wanted to challenge myself and do something without bittersweet. And so I came up with this piece here. Each piece, there's 21 pieces, and it was a random number. I just kind of picked, different sizes, not knowing at the end what it would look like, but 21 pieces of these. There is several different ways it can be hung.
Yeah.
That's the interesting part of it.
And they're so layered.
Yes, they're very layered again. They're like the snake, layers and rounded.
Yeah, they're like little living, they're like a community of creatures, I guess. I don't know, that's what they
Okay, so you asked me about the reeds. Right on. All right, now we're going in my storage area. So there is a certain amount that I can dye at a time, a batch, and it's usually about 4 bundles. So I actually go through, like this time of the year again is good time to dye the reeds. Not too hot, not too cold. And I dye them and then I keep them in containers.
Oh, okay. So you've
Right.
done all the prep work. Yeah.
The weaving, I can kind of judge if I have enough reeds to do what I need to do. There's an occasion that I have to go back and re-dye. But the problem with re-dyeing is that it never comes out the exact same color, you know? So, and it, you know, when I soak it in the water to weave it, I have to be careful to make it the right amount of time because it bleeds in the water. So, you know, you want to keep the color pretty consistent.
Yeah, I had no idea, the amount of prep no one does, I guess, with art that's well done, how much prep goes into it. What are these little doodads in the jars here? Just
These are actually what I use for centers of flowers. And they're pre-made pieces, and they're actually tucked into a woven piece. I can show you an end product. There's one here. See? So each of those reeds have that stick, and then there's a woven piece in the back, very loosely woven, and then I place them all in to create the center of the flower. That's how I studied this flower and decided what kind of materials I could use to make it look like it, and what I came up with.
And so those purple things that they're obviously longer than you can, there's more of it than shows. Are they wrapped around the back? I mean, is there a back side to this that sort of shows what they?
No, I cover it because I don't want any light to come through. So you can't see the back, but it's the same. It's the same theory as this, you know, because there's holes in here where I can place them, stick them inward. So the inside of that is woven, and then I put each bead in. And so the backside is a bunch of sticks sticking out. If you were to see the backside of it. So. All right, so there's one more piece I really would like to show you.
Okay.
I got commissioned to make a permanent piece. So these Latasha people, D'Angelo's hired me to do a piece here. They have beautiful windows here. They intend for their clients to walk through into their showroom. They do construction inside and out. So I envision people walking through here, going into the showroom like they're looking outside. And I came up with this piece called Ribbons Blowing in the Wind. And so there are many, many pieces of bittersweet intertwined with my weaving. At the end, I didn't know exactly how I would finish it. And then I woke up with a dream, of course, and it was do the beads at the end and match the colors, to the piece. This took several months to make. I couldn't weave for many hours on it. I had to go up on scaffolding to do each layer.
So it's what you did it on site then. It wasn't,
It's a permanent, it's
Yeah.
not coming down.
you can't bring it to a show, right? You can't.
No, but it was very, very fun to make.
Gee, it's so ambitious. Do your fingers ever hurt? Do you have to like soak your fingers or I mean, do you ever get, weavers, whatever? Oh, okay.
I call this my hook. See, it's perfect.
Yeah. Okay.
But that's the only finger. And it's my hook because I hook and pull.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
So, yeah. Okay.
Well, thank you. I don't know if you want to get back in the camera range there. Yeah, it's just we can thank you and I'm going to see if we can go back to all of us here. Okay. So, yeah,
Right.
Tina, really appreciate your time. Where can people, oh yeah, tell us where, you have a website or where they can find you?
Sure. tinasbaskets.com. I'm also in Winston at Whiting Mills, Studio 305. Make an appointment and come on up. And tinasbaskets@yahoo.com. My phone number is 860-309-6934.
All right. And you're also a member of the Artists Collective of Westport, so you can go to the Artists Collective of Westport.org and find your page there too. So terrific.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, our pleasure.
Wow, it's great to hear how a tangled old vine can actually speak to you and then be transformed into something so beautiful. Thanks for sharing your space today, and thanks, Miggs, for taking us along. To see more of our Artists in Residences videos, check out the video and podcast gallery on the library's website, westportlibrary.org. Thanks, and hope to see you at the library soon.